Hello, let me just make sure that I am live. And it looks like I am live. So hello, good afternoon or good morning, wherever you're watching from. Carol Buckalew with Inky Stampers. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And my card today uses a standalone stamp set. I use the Cake Fancy stamp set. Hello, Mary. How are you? Thanks for joining. So this is a standalone stamp set, and it's in the annual catalog, and it's just adorable. And I also use the deckled rectangle dies, and then a couple of embellishments, and some simple stamping on this card. And I've got a million stamps here set up off to my right, and it looks like my video is lagging. Hopefully you can see me on your end. And so just a lot of, you know, like I said, simple stamping on this card. A couple other little details. I did kind of case this card from the catalog, but I made changes to kind of make it my own. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's some Wink Stella on the cake there. But yeah, just really, you know, simple and fun. And this is a celebration card. You could change the sentiment up, you know, on the inside for whatever occasion you might need the card for. So let's get started. Now, before I get started, thank you, Mary. Before I get started, I'm going to tell you that there is construction going on the street below us. And all the construction vehicles are parking on our street. And we've got pickup trucks and regular vehicles and box trucks. And it's been craziness since early this morning. If my dogs start barking and I can't get them to quiet down, I may have to drop off the video. But let's hope that doesn't happen. And let's get started. So like I mentioned, I've got I've got almost all of my stamp blocks in use right now. Hey, Rosie, thanks for joining. I was just mentioning that we've got construction vehicles on the street. The dogs may start barking. If I can't get them to stop, I may have to just, you know, drop because you won't be able to hear me, that's for sure. All right, and I used quite a few inks on this card as well, but I think it makes it real pretty. The first thing I'm going to do, this is my card base, and this is cut to 11 by 4 1/4 and scored at 5 1/2. And I want to stamp some flowers on this peach pie card base in peach pie ink. Hi, Amy. Thank you for joining. Hi, Faith. Thanks for joining. And so I'm going to open up my peach pie ink, and I've got just a simple little round flower here. Now, on a card with this much stamping, the best advice I can give anybody that might be watching is to take your time. When you're doing repeat stamping, it's very easy to start speeding up, and that's when I don't know about you, but that's when I make mistakes. So just take your time, and I will tell you that the stamps in this stamp set, let me see if it says it on the stamp set. I don't see it on the stamp set, but I would say this qualifies as a distinctive stamp. And so you're going to see some variations in the color in how this stamps. And it's not super terrible. And once the ink dries, it's actually, you know, it looks fine. But until the ink dries, it's kind of looks a little blotchy, I'll be honest with you. But once the ink dries, and my peach pie stamp pad is new, so, you know, it's pretty juicy. This is a new ink color, so it's pretty juicy, and that could be why as well. And so as I'm working my way down here, I'm really not looking for perfection, but I am kind of stamping off kind of every other flower just to kind of give it a little bit of interest. And I think we can fit one more down here And we'll stamp that one off as well. And I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamp. I keep my little wet chamois here in an empty stamp case. It's real handy. Alrighty. And on my original card, yes I did, okay. I did stamp the centers of these flowers. So I'm going to do that in peach pie as well. And just real quickly work my way around here. And I'm not doing a very good job of getting those centered. But this is what I mean, like if you start rushing, you know, you tend to miss the mark. Or you don't get a full stamped image or something like that. So it's always best to just take your time. All right, and then I'm going to use a leaf image, and I'm going to stamp this just kind of in between the flowers. And I'm going to change direction on the leaf as I'm stamping and just kind of fill in this space. As I go. Hope everybody's having a good day. We are having, we've been having some beautiful, beautiful weather, which is nice after all the rain we had for such a long period of time. So really nice that it's nice outside. It looks like next week we are going to get some major heat. It's going to be in the 90s. Later next week, it's going to be in the high 90s. So, yikes. I guess summer is just about here. While I have my peach pie ink out, I'm going to go ahead and grab some pieces. And these are not all of the pieces, but my envelope and my inside panel. And I am going to go ahead because I do have a couple. Whoops, that is the, okay, what did I do with my flower? There it is, good grief. I do have a couple of these flowers on the inside panel as well as the envelope front. So I'll go ahead and get these stamped while I've got this out. So I'm going to be jumping around a bit. And let me look at my envelope. I can't remember what I did. There we go. But this is just the cutest little stamp set. I just really, really love this. I am going to need to, those pieces are not done, but for now I'm going to, figured since I had the peach pie open, I would go ahead and get those couple of little flowers stamped. We're going to be stamping them again, but that's okay. All right, so I have pre-cut. It's warm where you are too, Mary. Yeah, I'm sure it's warm where you are. It gets a little humid down there, I think. Humidity's starting to come in here, and that's what's going to really drive our temperatures. So I used the second from the largest deckled rectangle, and I cut a spare one just in case, because seriously, this is a lot of stamping. But I'm going to build my cake here on this panel, and I'm going to start off with pecan pie ink, and I'm going to do a couple of little things to kind of dress this image up here at the end. So this is my, let me take that stamp off for now. The pie plate, I'm going to stamp that in pecan pie. And again, these are distinctive stamps. So when you're stamping, you kind of want to hold this down for, you know, a second. And I'm going to try to get this as even as possible. I don't want my cake crooked or my cake stand. And I'm going to just press that down and let that ink transfer really well. I didn't have problems stamping the pie plate. What I did have trouble stamping were the cake layers, and I'll show you what I did about that. And I think that's the only thing I need that ink for. So let me put that off to the side. I'm going to clean this off. Yeah, I didn't have enough stamping blocks. I literally have all of my stamping blocks out and in use. So this is my little cake layer. Let me get that put back on and try to get it straight on there. And I'm going to switch over to Lemon Lolly ink. And I'm going to need to probably just test stamp this because I think I got my cake layer turned around. Yeah, okay, I did. So I had it upside down. So, like I mentioned, you know, distinctive stamps. And for whatever reason, my Lemon Lolly doesn't seem to be as juicy as some of my other colors. So I'm going to use a sponge dauber. Now this sponge dauber is clean. It's just stained from ink. But I'm going to go ahead and dip that into the corner of my stamp pad there. And I'm going to really push that ink down. And I'm going to do one other thing here in a bit to the cake layers. But for now, and I need to bring this towards me, and hopefully I want to definitely stamp my cake layers straight as possible. And I'm going to let that sit for just a second. Oh, you're getting a heat wave too, Faith. Oh my goodness, yeah, time of year. It's that time of year. So go ahead and ink my stamp up again. Take my little sponge dauber and ink that up good. And I can tell you that these are still kind of light. But I'm going to do something with some Winkostella. Now, I want to leave some space, and I'm sorry, I need to pull this to me. But I want to leave space between my cake layers for the icing. We've got to have icing on our cake. And we've got a 3-layer cake here. 103 yesterday, 96 to, oh, so that is the heat that is coming our way. Yes, indeed, because we're going to be close to 100 late next week, I saw. So, yikes, and I just dropped my dauber sideways into my ink pad. So before I get ink all over me, you give that a wipe off, because you know, and I can't remember if I inked this. That ink is so light, it's hard to see. Yeah, that's pretty darn hot. Watch, we'll go weeks now with hot weather and no rain. That's always the way it goes in summer. All right, layer number 3. And then we can kind of move on here. And again, I'm leaving space between my layers, hopefully, as best as I can see. Alrighty, now I know that these are light, but like I mentioned, I'm going to be remedying that here in just a moment. And I'm going to go ahead and get my Peach Pie ink out and my Melon Mambo ink. I love Melon Mambo and the yellow and the Peach Pie together. It looks really nice. Like, I'm really surprised how nice it looks. All right, so we've got, I better turn my ink so I can see what I'm stamping here. So I've got, again, this little round flower in Peach Pie. I'm going to stamp him here at the top of the cake, just like that. And then I've got this little half flower image, and that is going to also be in Peach Pie, and I'm going to be stamping that in Melon Mambo as well. So this is why I had my little chamois out and ready to go today, because lots and lots. I don't usually do this much stamping on cards, but this stamp set just calls for it. It's super cute. I'm going to put another little Melon Mambo half flower over here. So decorating the top of our cake. And let me see here. Where's my other flower image? Oh, it looks like I forgot to take it out. Well, let me grab that other flower image. Alrighty. And Melamombo. So I just kind of alternated colors here. That looks really dark. Let me stamp that off. Kind of is dark. Alright, and we're going to just stamp that kind of right there on the top of our cake. Alrighty. Slope your joints like the heat. Rosie, I have really been hurting with my arthritis and in my back and stuff and my knee. And yesterday I started feeling much better. Thank goodness. And yeah, I'm actually pretty mobile today. And so it's all good. Let me see here. What do I need to do? I am going to go ahead. Well, I've got the Melon Mambo out. Finished stamping my envelope. So I told you I would be bouncing around a bit. Let me turn this one this way. Let's turn this guy this way. There we go. And Melon Mambo, give that ink some time to dry. It's a dark ink. And I'm going to partially stamp that one right there. And look, I messed it up. But that's okay. I think I can line it up. Maybe getting my head in the way. Let me see here if I can line it up. And get that image. I'm not liking that. I am not liking that. That's okay. We're going to fix it. And flip that panel over. And I did it again. All right. Shoot. Shoot. I'm going to cut another panel real quick here. Close these inks up before I do that. Bear with me. And I don't remember. So that panel is 3 3/4 by 5. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. It happens. So 3 3/4 by 5. This is one of those card projects where I shouldn't talk at all. Because I know I get distracted. All right, let's try that again. Our inside panel. And we've got, you fill in the missing color with a marker. Yeah, the unfortunate thing about that particular stamp, though, is that it is not completely filled in. And I think I just have a little bit too much ink on it. So I'm going to go ahead and just lightly tap that on the ink pad. And let's see if I can get a better image. Yeah. All right. I think I have a tendency to jam my stamps down too hard, and hence the problem with that. All righty. Not too much more here to do, guys. I know this probably isn't very exciting, watching somebody stamp repeatedly. But I do love the way the card turned out. I think it's real cute. So definitely worth it. All right. Let me see here. Back to pecan pie. I lied. We are going to use some pecan pie just to fill in the centers of our peach pie flowers. So let me go ahead and do that. And this is the cutest little flower center. All right. And then the last thing to do here, that one gets centered too. And then our envelope. It really starts coming to life when you stamp the leaves in amongst the flowers. And that's when it really starts taking shape. All right, now we're done with the pecan pie. I'm going to get out, this is Shy Shamrock. So I've used a couple of the new in colors. And this is just, I've got a couple of different leaf images. Yeah, I like the cheery colors too, Amy. That's kind of, I'm drawn to them for sure. But I've got different size leaves here. And so this is actually the largest leaf in the set, believe it or not. It's still pretty tiny. So I'm just going to stamp some leaves here amongst our flowers. And then I'm going to grab this one, and I've got a leaf, I think, coming out about here, like that. And let me see, did I do one on the envelope, the big one? Yes. All right, and I've got a big leaf coming out kind of between the two flowers on the envelope there. And then I'll go ahead and grab the next set of leaves. And this one's just a little 2-leaf grouping. Bring our cake back, and this one I've got kind of coming down here between these two flowers. And I will tell you that I'm finding with Shy Shamrock, the ink looks really blotchy until it dries. And then once it dries, it's fine. And you may not be seeing that on the camera, but I can certainly tell that it looks a little bit blotchy until it dries. All right, I think I'm done with that leaf, so let me clean this off. And we'll use the leaf one that I've got on the other side. And you can see I've got a really big block here for a little itty bitty leaf. But again, I was running out of, I was definitely running out of stamping blocks. I had so many little images from this set. And I'm just going to fill in here. Let's see, let's put one right about there. And we'll put one down here, and maybe, I'm trying to think if I have another leaf to stamp. I don't think I do. All right, I'm going to fill in just, let me see here, maybe just a little bit more. And if these leaves don't connect to the flowers, that works. You know, I'm really just looking to fill in space. Now, when I originally made this card, I put my leaf away and I still need it. I just stamped everything on the cardstock and then cut it out with a deckled rectangle. I know, doesn't it, Mary? A non-chocolate cake. Chocolate cake is my favorite. So that's our envelope. And I actually need to stamp on the back of that envelope. I forgot. Yeah, my favorite too. Stamp a few leaves over here. And if you just partially stamp them, that works. Let's stamp one out this way. And stamp one out this way. And I think we need one more on the other side of our little red flower, just like that. And that is our inside panel. I need to be careful because my mats are not the same size, I don't think. So I need to make sure I don't get those confused. Okay, I've got, bring back the Melon Mambo. I've got one more little flower to stamp on our envelope flap. I forgot him. And I'm just going to stamp him right in the center of that flap like that. And then put this away. And we'll just stamp little leaves on either side of that flower. Just real simple, so no DSP on this card. Just some simple stamping. A lot of it, but some simple stamping nonetheless. Alrighty. Inside panel, let's get our additional sentiment stamped inside, and hopefully I don't work this up. So keep your fingers crossed. I'm going to test this on my grid paper. I think I have it pretty straight. It looks pretty good. So let's see if I can get this straight on my card. And so the sentiment looks a little bit blotchy, but like I said, once this ink, I just got a whole bunch of ink on my block because it's oversized. Easy to do. Just take the time to wipe that off so you don't mess up. Okay. So I want to stamp the word enjoy, and that is looking blotchy, I think because I wet it. So let me dry it off. And fingers crossed we get it kind of straight. But once that dries, it actually looks much better, but it's rather blotchy right now, believe it or not. Okay. Now, I need a clean block here. I'm putting all of my little stamps here in one spot. Hopefully I don't lose any. But I need a clean block, and that is definitely not clean. That's got ink on it. It's because ink is sitting on my block, or on my chamois. Let me try cleaning that one more time, because I definitely don't want marine ink. That would be bad. That would ruin the card. Okay, looks like I've got it clean here. All right, I'm just going to take my lemon lolly, and I'm going to just tap a little bit of lemon lolly on my stamping block, and I am going to dip my Wink of Stella pen in that lemon lolly ink, kind of mix it around, and I want my other layer here, our cake layer, and I'm going to just go ahead and paint our cake. So this makes the layer darker, but it also adds all that great shine from the Wink of Stella. And I didn't use a lot of ink. It is super light. You can barely see it. But I'm going to go ahead and dust these cake layers with some Wink of Stella. It helps to darken them, again, distinctive stamp. And I wish you could see the shine, because it's really pretty. And I'm actually having trouble seeing what I've got painted and what I don't. Alrighty, I think I need to squeeze out. Wink of Stella, when you try to squeeze out a little bit more, I don't know about you guys, but I always end up getting glitter puddles. Hopefully I don't get a glitter dump here on my project. I think I just squeezed too hard, and I see a little glitter dump, yeah, but that's okay, it'll dry fine. All right, and then I'm just going to rub my Wink of Stella on my paper until I don't see any yellow, and actually there was very little yellow. Set that out of my way, and then I'm going to bring a blender pen in and my Shy Shamrock ink. Oh, before I do that, I want my Basic Beige ink, and we're going to ground our cake plate here because it's not grounded. It looks like it's floating in the air. And so all I did was I kind of rolled the side of my blender pen onto my Basic Beige ink, and I'm just going to draw some kind of very sketchy lines, broken lines, just to kind of indicate, a bit of a table sitting there, and that helps to ground the image. And then, of course, when you use your blender pen, you want to roll that on a scrap piece of paper and make sure that you've got all of the ink out of the pen. Because I have the side of the pen in the ink, I'm going to try and just bend my paper up here to get that ink out. Because when you use your pen again, you don't want any surprises, right? All right, that looks good. Can put our basic beige away. I wasn't kidding when I said there was a lot of stamping. But once we're done stamping, we can go ahead and put this card together. And I'm back to my Shy Shamrock. I'm just going to dip the tip of my blender pen into the corner of my ink pad. And I'm just going to dot some confetti all around the image here. And I thought this just made it look really fun and festive. And you can get quite a few dots in one dip. And you want to do it randomly around the card. But it's just kind of a fun treatment for your fancy cake here. And then I'm going to dot some confetti here, kind of on our table, if you will. It's kind of falling off the cake. But again, you want it random. And I think that's plenty. And I'm just going to scribble my blender pen to make sure I've got all of that ink out. And I do. We're done with that. And we can go ahead and get our card together. So, yay. I love using Winko Stella. I use it a lot around the holidays on certain images. But I like dipping the pen in ink, you know, to highlight or whatever. So it's just a lot of fun. And I know that you can't see the sparkle, but trust me, it is there. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and layer everything up, and we'll get our card put together. So this is our front panel. This is going to actually get popped up with Stampin' Dimensionals. Give that a second to dry, and I'll get our inside panel in. And then we'll be done. So right now, 10% off stamp and die bundles. So that's a great saving because bundles are already 10% off. So essentially during the month of June, you're going to be able to get bundles essentially at 20% off. So good deal. So if you're looking to, you know, get some new sets, you definitely want to do that in the month of June. The Stampin' Cut and Boss machines are also 10% off. And that's a big deal because those machines don't generally go on sale. All right, I'm just going to put our inside panel here, just looking for that equal distance all around my mat, and that looks fairly good to me. I always have to hold it up and kind of eyeball it. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. Let's go ahead and get our panel on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Stampin' Up! Also, I forgot to pull my note down. We also have 2 new kits in the kits collection, the Scenic Route kit and the Scenic Route Travel Journal kit and the Expressions of Kindness kit. So the Expressions of Kindness kit is a card kit. And I believe that kit makes 9 cards. The Scenic Route Travel Journal kit looks super cool. I think I'm going to have to order one. But it allows you to, you know, it's got several pages. Everything needed to decorate the journal is included. Whoops, let me get one more on there. And, you know, there's space for journaling, your photos, place to put your photos. There's pockets, there's pages. So it's really kind of cool looking. And the kits, I don't know if you've ever checked out the kits, but they're, in my opinion, they're reasonably priced because absolutely everything that you need is included in those kits. Oh, the Expressions of Kindness is 8 cards. Thank you, Mary. Four of 2 different designs, I think. 4 each of 2 different designs. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our card on the front here. I'm just looking to make sure that panel's kind of straight. That looks good to me. I have already pre-stamped one of my labels here, only because I knew that I would be running over as usual. I'm going to cut a banner end. So when I stamp this, these were actually 2 stamps, time for, and then the second stamp cake. When I stamped these, I stamped them more to the right because I knew I wanted to cut a banner end on the left. And all I did was snip up the center of the label just a little bit, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to cut from the corner into that center point cut. And then I'm going to flip it over and cut from the corner back to that center cut. And then that gives us our little banner end. Well, let me go ahead and get some Stampin' Dimensionals on this. And then, of course, the big to-do, in my opinion, is that we have new online exclusives coming on July 3rd for customers. If you're Demonstrator, you can pre-order some of those items now. And let me tell you what, there's some great things. And I showcased a few things already on my blog. My card tomorrow will be another sneak peek of online exclusive items. So be sure to look for that card no, wait a minute, what's today? Today's Wednesday, sorry. My Friday card is a sneak peek, not my card tomorrow. This is my card tomorrow. The measurements for this card will be on my blog tomorrow for the Happy Ink and Thursday blog hop. I'm going to just put a mini glue dot up here in the upper left corner of my card front, and I've already pre-tied a bow. Whew, relief, right? That you don't have to watch me tie a bow. And the only thing that our card is missing here is some glossy dots assortment. And there is a pretty melon mambo in this dots package. So I'm going to grab some of these pretty, I love these glossy dots. I think they are so pretty. Just go ahead and put a few around here on our card front, and we are done. Done, done, done. So simple stamping took a bit of time, but the card was created basically with just stamps. And I think that it made a really cute little card. I don't think you're going to be able to see the Wink of Stella. Yeah, no. It's just not going to show. Maybe a little bit. You can see it there. But it does add some pretty glitter. And yeah, so basically just stamping. Imagine that. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I want to thank you for joining me today. I will be back next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope you all have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.